This is a query that shows you all of the cats. Yeah, so if we go into examples, there's tons of examples. And the most boring way to display the examples is in this wonderful table. And so these are all of the cats that are on Wikidata that are notable enough to have Wikidata items. Although interestingly, this one looks like it's wrong.
The dark cats? Physicians from, oh my god!
Band?
Instance of cat.
Oh yeah, I have that. Physicians from the southern Netherlands.
Create a claim instance of cat. Yeah, that's wrong. I'll just go fix that quickly.
Why does it show?
Is there a site link?
Yeah, there is. He wanted to write category.
Yeah.
So it was good faith vandalism.
Good faith, yeah. So then eventually that will just update on here. Oh, it looks like the data is 13 minutes behind. So in 13 minutes time, that category will no longer appear in the list of cats. I wonder what other display types there are here. Oh, there's no image.
Dimensions?
Because you have to load the image in the query.
I don't remember how you do that.
Item, item WDT P18, image, I guess. You have to create an image.
Question mark image.
Yeah, question mark image. Yeah.
To put it up there too. So now I can also display the result in an image grid. So this is exactly the same result, but it selects the image URLs alongside the cats, and then it shows you a picture of all of these weirdly notable cats. Oh look, Grumpy Cat.
There's a cat with the grandma. The grandma cat.
So you can always then click into the item and see all of the information as well. Yeah, so in fact this doesn't show you all of the cats that it showed you in the initial list, it will only show you ones that have an image as well. You can do the same for horses.
Oh. Wow.
But it's slightly more complicated. Oh no, they're all optional things, so it just gives us more information.
Database of horses.
Database of horses. Oh god, that's another whole thing as well.
Raisins, really Whoa.
So you can try and navigate the graph using this as well. Has parts, horse hoof. Domesticated animals. Animal, yeah.
Smart chat?
No. It's lightweight.
What?
No, please don't do it. 6,000 bars.
I have no idea what it will do here by default. Yeah. Or if it will just break.
Wait, you're trying to show a pie chart of horses?
No, a bar chart.
Bar chart of horses.
I may have just broken my browser. Yeah, okay, let's go and choose a different example.
So, I mean, you're kind of starting in the middle of things. Do you want to... Do you want to start at the beginning?
Well, I've never done a presentation on the query service before, so I don't really know where to start. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Don't be us. Take over.
Pick a query. What would you like to... Or should we just start with cats?
Oh yeah, we could just start at cats, and like maybe the first thing that's like, if you've never seen a query like that, you basically just have to ignore, like if you ignore all of the lines and just look at the one where that starts with question mark item. You know, you always have to think that the thing that you say question mark is basically the missing piece of information of the sentence. So this says give me all the items is the first thing, and then you say for something that something is true. So if you say P31, and which is the instance of on Wikidata, so like that's a property that identifies individuals, and then we have Q146, which is cat. So instance of cat means really it is a cat that is somewhere that had a name that can be uniquely identified.
What is the name part of it?
Do you mean the bit that I just removed?
Like, why doesn't it give you generic categories of types of cats? Which is
Because that would be like a different property.
So a category for a type of cat wouldn't be an instance of cat.
okay.
Mm.
So when you say an instance, you mean an individual?
Yeah, like instance.
Instance is something like example of, or it actually means the identity of this item is cat.
Yeah, so like you are an instance of human.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a search for all humans, but it wouldn't give
Crash,
you.
it would probably crash the query.
What's the difference between WDT and WD?
That's the namespacing.
Mm-hmm.
And one namespace is for properties, and with a T at the end, and the WD is the namespace for the items.
Oh, okay.
And how do we know the namespaces? Like, how do we know?
Well,
Is there a
you
list?
can you can show them, and you can of course use namespaces from other SPARQL query
But
providers.
these two are the most important.
Yeah,
Mm.
and then like more advanced, but sometimes use also schema.org, right? And
Yeah. So
things
yeah,
like that.
there is a list of all of them. So there's WDT.
So you just learn them as you go along.
So there's loads of things. And so this is like the most basic query you can do, and it just selects the item IDs. And then the actual example also has, so it has this extra line which uses the label service, and the label service will magically create this question mark item label when you have the item, and which is why you don't see item label anywhere else. And then it selects the label in English if it exists, which is where this column comes from. But you could just as well change that to anything. Yeah, and then it falls back to the QID if there is no label in the language. And I think you can also do description as well. Oh. Or maybe not, actually. Nope.
But I think you can write description at the beginning of the line and then press Control space.
Oh,
bar.
no, you don't. It comes from the same service. You don't need to.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then you also have all of the descriptions in. Oh, cat, member of Japanese musical group. There you
Oh.
go. Oh, head of Japanese musical group. And this is where you start to come up with these weird and wonderful.
Wait, there's a cat that's a band member?
Yeah,
some of them
that's why
actually.
these are all the notable cats.
There's a Japanese band that's got a cat in it.
Yeah,
It's Japanese.
There's a cat that's a
Cool.
mayor of a town.
Bionic cat.
Oh yeah.
Bionic
There's a
cat.
bionic
Yeah,
cat.
there was a bionic cat up there.
cat who used to catch mice at Tinta.
Yeah, cat was
Cat was chief mouser to the cabinet office in UK.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, these two could be the same. I don't know how many cats number 10 Downing Street's had. Oh god, there's another one.
I think each administration has a cat there. And they are all named Peter.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So let's try and find something that isn't quite so simple.
Or maybe we could try to write out, something that kind of is like Wiki loves Earth, or Wiki loves monuments.
How do you mean?
Maybe show a map of monuments somewhere.
Yeah, like
You can show a map of monuments in the Czech Republic actually.
Or
There is
can
an
you show a
identifier
map
for that.
UNESCO World Heritage Sites?
Or that, yeah.
yeah,
Because those will definitely all be.
those might also be an instance of the UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah.
So let's start on Wikidata and go and find one so we can have a look at one of the items and see what it has. So
I think there's one in Turkey.
Ephesus in Turkey.
Yeah, right. That.
how do you spell?
EPHESUS.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Do. Tourist attraction.
There's a
country,
special property
Turkey.
for yeah.
Oh,
Heritage
status.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
but-
special property.
basically one could one could also leave it. One doesn't care what value the heritage status has. So you can say, get me all the items that have a heritage status, and then you just dump the status into also a question mark.
Yeah.
We could maybe that would be a good line to start with.
That'll give you too much stuff though, I think.
We can limit it by country.
It was one. Yeah, 1435. You're gonna have to help me here.
Well, you just do question mark status here, and we. So the triple, the subject, predicate, object, which is always the structure of the SPARQL query, you can leave one or two out with a question mark variable. You can leave like any combination. The first, the middle, the last. The first two, the last two, can have a question mark.
Which is kind of where this presentation comes in. But yeah. Oh, let's see if it does.
Maybe it will time out.
No, I think that should work. How big can that be?
So what's the predicate then?
The property.
Right.
So subject, predicate,
And the-
object.
And what's the object?
The status.
I'm sorry, what does that do exactly?
Well, the status is a placeholder for any status that this predicate can bear.
So all of the information is stored in a triple store of subject, predicate, object. So everything is basically stored in triples like that. And so you have an Alan Turing instance of human. And so what this is doing is it's finding all triples that have this predicate. And then it will return you a list of them all. Or it might return us a list of them all.
But it has crashed a bit.
Maybe.
Usually it takes a while to time out actually.
Yeah, I think the
This
timeout
is-
got extended a bit. So it's probably downloading the very, very big long list now.
So that's getting a whole list of.
All the heritage sites.
And their
Shit.
status.
And their status.
Yeah.
So it's also going to tell you.
What's the status of the heritage protection, I guess.
So like for this one,
So-
it
so
would
you
return you heritage status, world heritage site. but if there are other heritage sites, it will also return
Oh,
if there
right.
are other heritage.
Wait, so you've asked for
Yeah.
all heritage sites?
What's the?
I've asked for everything that has a heritage status.
For
Oh,
example,
that's
Czech monuments also have a
Going to
heritage
be a
status.
really very big list.
Yeah, there are.
What?
In Czech Republic, there are at least 20,000 of them already in Wikipedia.
Why don't you limit it to just World Heritage Sites?
Yeah,
Could be.
that's what I just wanted to explain.
Yeah, time out.
Our current query just selects it like this. So we just check, does the item have this property linked to another item? But we don't care what the link leads to.
Uh-huh.
So this is all the items. So question mark item with
Q.
P1435 and question mark status. And you can even write it, if you're never gonna use this, you can also just write it as 2 square brackets. Okay?
Okay.
And this is always, if it has a question mark, it kind of goes into this variable. So all the things that have a heritage status are now stored in this item. All the statuses, although we don't care about them and not doing anything about them, are stored in this variable. And this here is our fixed point. And you can always, you can have a fixed point here or here or here, or 2 of them or 2 of them or 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
So it's always like a sentence where you leave something away, and the thing you leave away is actually the thing that's like variable. It could be anything, and that's where you put all the stuff in. And
So here are the variables.
and now the next query we did. So this is query number 1,
Oh, yeah, so.
and now this query only selects something that has like a special heritage status. So now we really care about what the status is. But that doesn't mean that this here now goes into this variable. The columns still collapse like this. So these 2 items really have this status. And then it's question mark item P1435 with the Q. Okay. Does this like make sense to everybody? That
Kind of, starting to make sense, yeah.
yeah, it takes some time to sink in.
Yeah, so then we can also expand it to select all of the countries as well. So for the same item, we want anything that has a statement with P17, and then we don't care what the country is, but we want to show it. And then also, because we have this label service, we can also just change this to country label and run this.
What if you did care what the country was? What would you change?
So then you could change this to the same as we did for this one.
213.
Is that
Czech Republic.
213? So these are all of the World Heritage sites in the Czech Republic. And in fact, up here it says exactly what it is because it couldn't figure it out.
Uh-huh.
And we could still get the coordinates for them.
Yeah.
And so what's the service tag?
625.
And what's that line doing exactly after service?
That's a special service designed for Wikidata to ease up the display of labels for the items. Without the service, it would only display the identifiers of the items, which is not human readable. So it's a shortcut to the labels.
So you would use that piece of code on most queries, or on a lot of queries?
When you
many.
care about
When
labels.
when it's designed for humans to read the result, then you.
But using it, of course, will make it slower.
Right.
So then we also select the coordinate locations of all of the World Heritage sites in the Czech Republic. And then, because it knows it has a coordinate location, we can display them all on a map.
And that's how we actually show the items on Wikimedia Commons app.
Mm-hmm. And then you could also do,
Where you put the coordinates there? What's the P625?
so that's coordinate location.
Right.
What was the image again?
P17.
17. Oh god.
No, 18.
8.
Ah, sorry, 17 is the country.
Oh yeah, we have 17 above. Okay, so then that should...
P.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, full of typos. So now we also have the images. I don't know if that will change the map at all. Will it show the images? No. Oh,
You didn't put the image above into the list of, yeah,
I did not.
Into the list of what?
into the list,
of things you're
the
selecting.
variables or whatever you call it.
So yeah, then we can have an image grid with them all. I don't know if the map will show the images as well. I would hope it does. Yeah, it does. There you go. But if we then remove this and go back to country, yeah, works. Now we can see them for the whole world
Yeah.
with all of their.
So Sri Lanka is just a red dot.
And yeah, I imagine all of these will have pictures.
Yeah.
So what you can also do then, although I don't remember how to off the top of my head, is you can create bubble charts, but you'd have to add some sort of notation to tell it what to use in the bubble chart. So if I go and find an example quickly.
Yeah, I think the first one could, like eye colors and stuff like that.
Template over.
I think it's, what would you want to display in the bubble chart?
The country,
Oh,
but I cannot remember how you do it.
don't you have to?
Group by, yeah.
Yeah, you have to group them.
So then I can add group by country.
Now you have to count up the items in
Yeah.
the thing from the top, from the select.
Uh-huh.
Aha, so now we have the number of World Heritage Sites by country, and then we can show this. Oh, not in a bubble chart, because it still won't let me. What am I missing? Will it only do it when there's a label?
Your query is malformed.
Oh, maybe.
That looks promising. And then you can get
Ooh.
things like this. But of course, a bubble chart is a terrible way of seeing which one of those is bigger. So let's go with the bar chart. And we can see that India wins.
India wins the World Heritage Site
Yep.
competition.
According to Wikidata. Area chart, which is basically the same, but a silly way of looking at this.
What's
Again, that's not for this sort of data.
The bubble chart is nice.
But yeah. So does everyone kind of understand everything that's happening in this query? So I went quite quickly there.
Yeah, but I think like we can probably also, if somebody still wants details, we can also like discuss it separately.
Or
You can add that query in the etherpad if
Yeah.
somebody wants to try changing things.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's a
Where,
good idea.
so have you grouped them by country then?
Yeah, so I'm grouping
Which
them by
is-
country label.
Oh, and so you add that?
Because that
After
query has a lot
the-
of things covered.
Yeah, so this is the where section.
Yeah.
And
So if you know SQL, it's kind of the same in a way, because you select stuff, you put the conditions, and then afterwards you can put a limit down here as well. But yeah, and then so I guess that's kind of the options of the query.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good.
But then of course to get this bar chart, you don't actually need the image or the coordinate location. So yeah, let me put that in
Note that the longer one.
the longer one, that one.
Yeah. The one with all the bar charts.
And
Bubble charts
the
and
etherpad
everything.
is here. I will just put it.
Example, just say example query.
Where's the cursor? So there are a couple of other types of display format. The dimensions one is quite interesting if you write the query that dimensions of elements. So you have a collection of elements and then a collection of dimensions to compare them with, like mass, density, electron gravity, melting point and boiling point, and then you can just follow their lines going across.
That's good. What type of chart is this again?
I don't know what it's technically called, but we call it a dimension chart. But it means that you can say, show me all elements that have a boiling point between 8,000 and 4,000, and a melting point of between 1,000 and 3,000 that have a density that's pretty low and a mass of between 40 and 20. Aha! It's aluminium.
Wow.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so we've done map, line chart, timeline. So timelines are also built in.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Timeline of what?
Space probes.
Yeah, space probes.
So when you search for the timeline, you get
So those are just the example queries. But they're a good starting place if you want to make something else. So yeah, this is a timeline of everything that is an instance of space probe that has a launch date, so it was actually launched. And so this is how you ask for optional things. So if I remove this optional, it will only select things that have an image. But if you still want the full list, then you have to wrap them as an optional thing.
Like maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe yes,
But,
maybe no.
So if it has an image, get it. If it doesn't, oh well.
sweet. Cool. Well, I think I'll stop recording that so I can maybe I can edit it and put it up today so we can show people what we're doing.
Wait, let me see. Are there any more?
Any last examples you want to show?
Tree. I don't know what other examples.